just came from work. I work in Georgia. I do not live in Georgia. There's a big difference between where you live and where you work. If you don't know who I am, my name is D-Rel. This is Rel's Rants Reloaded. We're going to talk about living versus working. I just went on vacation a couple of months ago, went down to Florida. And I did an observation. I stood outside the box. And I seen a lot of people were living in certain environments and not just working. You go to different countries, say in the Caribbean, and you might go to a mom and pop's hotel. The mom and pop's hotel might have a pool. There might be a beach down the street from the pool. You don't see a lot of people in the pool until the weekend. A lot of locals don't get to enjoy the amenities of where they're at. Why is that? Because they're working in a certain area. They're not living in a certain area. And this is the trick that gets people trapped up when they go to a certain spot for a weekend or maybe a week and they fall in love with it. And then there's a harsh reality that happens when they realize I can't have this fun that I had during the weekend all week, all month, all year. It doesn't work that way. I was in Florida. I seen people in the condo that I was staying at, and a lot of these people were retired. They got to enjoy the amenities. They got to enjoy what was going on. You go to the beach, it's summertime, you go to the beach on a random Wednesday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, there's nobody in the beach. The beach is empty. You know why? Everybody's working. But the people that you do see are people that put in their time and don't have to work a job anymore and get to enjoy these things and get to enrich their life and get to have a better quality of life. I would say this about the state of Georgia. Georgia is dope. Atlanta is dope for a weekend. But besides that, there's no, unless you have the resources to sustain a lifestyle where you can enjoy a lot of the amenities every night and not have to wake up to go to a job, you won't be able to enjoy what Atlanta has to offer. And Atlanta has a lot of things to offer. And when you've been here as long as I have, I've been down here 20 plus years. The first 2 to 5 years, you're partying every weekend, you're going to work, you're paying your bills, partying every weekend, go to work, pay your bills, get into a relationship, have a family, move out of the metro Atlanta area, and then you're out the game. But that initial trip is what made you fall in love with the vibe. But you don't look at it as, how can I sustain this lifestyle that I'm doing because I'm a weekend warrior? And then when you're stuck down here, you realize come Monday, everybody got to go back to work. It's just like South Beach. Used to go to South Beach. Go to South Beach from Thursday to Sunday. It's always something. Thursday night is something popping. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is something popping. When it's time to get back on that plane, RIP Spirit Airlines, on Monday, you see everybody going back to work. Everybody that was on vacation ain't in town. And now it's back to business. And all these little spots and amenities people don't get to enjoy. I would say Georgia is a spot where there's a lot of money out here. There's a lot of financial opportunities out here. But the quality of living ain't worth a damn. It's not worth a damn. It's Black Hollywood. That's what Atlanta is. You will degenerate your body quicker than being in a lot of places. Going to Florida, minus South Florida, South Beach and all of that stuff. You got beaches, you have sand, you have amenities, you got culture, different foods, different things you can enjoy. But if you're down there and you got to pay your rent every month, and you got to pay your car note every month, and your insurance and this and that, and take care of kids and a wife and family, you don't get to enjoy that. You might get to enjoy it once a month on your day off, because this is what really happens. Whether it's Atlanta, whether it's New York, and I'm from New York. But I realized I really never got to enjoy New York. But by default, I lived in New York and worked in New York. I lived in New York because I was raised and born there. I work in Georgia because I came down here and I'm just sustaining. I'm just supporting a household. I'm financing. I'm not getting to enjoy the fruits of the stuff out here. Like, Georgia's a good state for golf. You could play golf damn near all year round, minus maybe 2 months. But nobody gets to enjoy that unless they are financially independent and or retired. And then you realize, after doing a lot of observations, you're like, damn, I'm really not living. I'm working. And you really want to live. When you want to live and when you living, that gives you the quality of life. Waking up on purpose, going to sleep and waking up on purpose, and enjoying the things that the place that you are at, whether it's in the States or in another country, whether being able to enjoy that. I've seen people on social media in different countries. They go to different countries and they act like it's a flex to live in these countries, but they wind up hustling like a local to sustain a lifestyle, to sustain an apartment. Unless you're an expat, ex-military, somebody that got a pension, somebody that came into some money, and you get money every month, you have people that are leaving America and going to another country living like hobos. And it's really not living. It's really not healthy. It's really stressful. So I feel like we have to switch the paradigm from, in the way of thinking, where you at? I work here. I'm not living. This ain't living. I'm making a living, but I'm not living. I'm not enjoying stuff. Georgia's a wonderful state. Florida's a wonderful state. New York is a wonderful state. I was born in New York. I was raised in New York. By default, living in my parent house, I lived in New York. And I say I lived there because that's where I was enjoying myself when I was a child and didn't have to worry about bills and responsibilities. Came to Georgia, I wasn't living. I was working to try to make a living, if that makes sense. Because you realize certain stuff, like people from different states come to New York and they visit the nice stuff. A lot of people from New York never been to the Statue of Liberty, the Twin Towers when they were up, Wall Street, Chelsea Pier, the things that you can enjoy in New York City if you are visiting. Rockefeller Center. Shoot, a lot of New Yorkers don't even go down to 42nd Street to see the ball drop. They're in their neighborhood because that's where they live, but they don't experience living in New York City like you see on TV, like some Sex in the City or Entourage in California. They don't get to enjoy that. And I think that's the problem. And that's what we have to get out of and start focusing on living, finding somewhere I can live, because soon you're going to die. And then you're going to realize I wasted a lot of time doing nothing. That's all I had for today. Rel's Rants Reloaded. What's your opinion on living versus working in an area? I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.